Sometimes we are obsessed with looking at the youths and we forget to work on the key pillars that support the production of these particular youths that we are looking at. And today I want us to look at the key pillars in a dairy production venture. And these pillars are the ones that are going to hold your investment and ensure that you are being profitable and productive throughout the period that you are doing dairy production. And I want us to go deeper into what exactly are we supposed to entrench. I will also mention on the key things that or rather the key indicators of whether we are on the right track or not at the end of this video. This will be a 4-part series, deep dive through these Easter festivities. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on all other channels or social media handles. Make sure that you follow and implement these particular guidelines, and you are going to enjoy profitability in your venture. The first and the most forgotten pillar in dairy production is record keeping. And keeping records is very important in our dairy venture. And the reason why this is very important is because it is the one that shows us where we are. We are able to get accurate data, accurate information on where we are at a particular period of time. You will be able to get data on milk sales. Another thing is that you also need to keep breeding records. When were these animals served? You also need to capture the feeding records, concentrates feeding. You also need to see how these animals, the inventory, which animals are in which particular stage in life. You can only be able to track all this information if we have got a robust system, a system that is working, and that which is able to help us be able to analyze. Remember, record keeping is not just something to maintain the status quo. It isn't. It's actually a very key component. It actually forms part of our analytical tools that are going to guide us through this journey, ensuring that we are able to get good returns. And as such, it also helps in management. They will be able to guide the persons that are in your management team in order to have a clear picture of where we are. It also informs strategy and also planning. And you as the investor in this particular business, you need to know where your money is going to. If there are costs, they must be accounted for. This again brings in the financial records. You need to do a good, of course, I won't forget to mention budgeting. Budgeting is very key. Ensure that you are budgeting, as we mentioned previously when we were talking about business modeling. Of course, you now have got a structure of all the costs that you need to incur in order to be able to run this particular business. And as such, you need to come up with a budget. Know where which particular amount of cash is going to. The ones that you need to do feeding. The other ones that are going to breeding. The others that are going to expansion. Maybe you want to expand, you need to acquire 1 or 2 heifers. Again, you also need to understand how you are paying your people. Are you paying them what particular amount of money? Are you able to do it? Are you liquid enough? Remember, dairy business is is equal to any other type of business. You don't put it in a category of its own and say that you just be thinking about it when it comes to, say, by the end of the month, and just without any particular plan, spend whatever the income that comes in, and you end up having a tough time. You need to work on improving on your budgeting. Again, be able to follow all the costs, ensure that all the costs that are incurred in terms of feeding your animals, breeding, animal health. Do you have any sick animals? Did you cull any of them? Are the records clear? Are you having a good tally of your heads of cattle? Where are we particularly? Do you have enough heifers to give us the next milking herd? How many heifers do we have? Are they transitioning properly? Again, something that's very important is also the calves growth milestones. And as I've been mentioning, you need to make sure that your calves are actually getting a minimum of if she was born at 40 kilos or 45 kgs, make sure that she's weaned off at 135 kilos. I've tripled the weight. So you need to keep the weight record, even the one for the mature animals. Remember, at times we find that some diseases are chronic. They come in and they actually are in the animal for a very long period of time before they could be noticed. But if you have got a good trend of these particular records, we could tell, your veterinarian can tell whether these animals are in a good condition or not. They can be able to tell these animals are suffering from any kind of illnesses. And again, it also informs something very important. That's again heat, because if your animals are starving, of course they won't give you more milk, and also heat signs will be lost in that particular process. Therefore, you need to make sure that you've got very clear records so that you can be able to note. Then as I've just mentioned, they are not just books to keep around your farm. They are analytical tools. You are going to get these analytical or statistical inferences to determine, and to do proper planning in your farm. Based on where you are, again, if you are able to even map out your fodder, it will be way better, ensuring that you know exactly how many times are we prospecting to harvest from a particular piece of land. How many are we supposed to purchase elsewhere? Maybe what amount of the concentrates are we supposed to procure? What do we have at the moment? And you see, I know you normally do your domestic budgets, and you are very keen in that particular endeavor. You should also make sure that you are budgeting properly for your herd. Again, it also gives you flexibility and also ensure that there is a predictability. You can also be able to mitigate risks when you have got good and proper records. Of course, you also need you help you in planning your herd, ensuring that you aren't having times you could have served your animals all at the same time, and find that in particular months of the year your production is really suppressed. You need to maintain a good records, good plans, ensuring that there is a very smooth flow of all the operations in your particular farm. Then we also have got another very key area, that is I want to talk about economics. This is where now is actually closely related to the point that we just discussed. And in economics, we have to talk about the costs, risk management aspects of your herd. Are you doing the proper proper procurement? Are you able to get value out of out of the investment that you already have? Are you able to derive some value from it? Then are you able to get say discounts from where or rather from your particular business? You have to be weighing all the cost of your inputs. If you are able to buy concentrates, you could consider even purchasing that in bulk rather than doing it in retail, or getting them from retailers who you of course put their margins and you get very inflated rates. You need to make sure that you are getting your feeds in bulk, producing in bulk, because in that process you are able to get what we call economies of scale. Whenever you are buying something in bulk, of course there is a benefit that comes along with the same, and that's economies of scale. If it's the labor transportation of that particular product, you are going to have some economies of scale. And the other thing is that you also need to mitigate a risk in terms of making sure that you're actually making the best out of your herd. And in this case, I mean, you need to ensure that your herd is actually getting to give you optimum yields. Giving you optimum yields helps you be able to get more income, which actually offsets any losses that you could have incurred along the way. And in this case, I mean ensuring that your heifers are served on a timely manner. Your milking herd you are able to optimize the lactation period, the lactation cycle. The 305 days, are you able to get maximum out of this particular period, maximum productivity of this particular herd? It's very easy to operationalize that, because that is part of where you are now going to do risk management, mitigating your risks, ensuring that majority of your animals are doing peak production, giving you peak. Others are in dry phase. We are going to discuss this in detail, because I know there's someone who might be asking themselves now, how do I go about all these particular things? So we are going to discuss that in details. And so the first two key pillars, as I've just mentioned, as we go to the next part of this broadcast, I want us to make sure that we have you actually have grasped that. And these two are very important. That is record keeping and economics, as I have just explained. And in so doing, you need to ensure that you have got a good way of keeping your records. I would highly advise you to make sure that you have got a record that is able to capture as much details as possible. And we have got milk record card in our website. You'll be able to get the link in the description below this video. You will be able to get this particular template. You keep one copy for life, keep producing every month for each animal. This will be able to capture the health records. You'll also be able to capture feeding, milk production, morning, midday, in the evening also. You also capture what the calf consumed, what was consumed at home. Again, it also capture the concentrates, how you are utilizing the concentrates. And on top of that, you'll be able to gather the most important data for each particular animal. That is when they calved down last, are they inseminated? Again, and as an analytical tool, it has got a portion where you are going to compare all that data, and you can be able to get a snapshot of all those figures. And you have captured all the milk sales, captured feed intake of this particular animal, health issues, again their age, when they calve down, days into the lactation, so that your planning can be done properly. In so doing, you'll be able to spot all the gaps that there might be existing. If there are heat issues, of course, you get to address them in the proper way. And let's meet in the second part of this broadcast.